Support for Homegrown is provided by Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, proudly serving Eastern North Carolina since 1967.
They grew up on our fields, on our courts, in our towns. And now they've taken that hometown pride to the college stage. This is Homegrown. Real athletes, real stories, big dreams.
Welcome to Homegrown. Real athletes, real stories, big dreams. I'm your host, Stevenson, and this is the show where we spotlight hometown athletes who carry the spirit of their community wherever they go. Each episode reconnects with former high school standouts now competing at the collegiate level. Athletes who grew up local fields and continue to represent the places that shape them through grit, growth, and pride. Today's guest is one of the most dominant pitchers to come through Swansboro High School and Otto County schools. A Coastal 3A Player of the Year, Female Athlete of the Year, and one of the top strikeout leaders in North Carolina for the 2022-2023 season. Now competing at the Division I level with UNC Wellington, her journey has included sacrifice, setbacks, perseverance, and a relentless belief in herself. This is the homegrown story of Peyton Eckert. Peyton, thanks for joining us.
No, thank you for having me.
All right, so let's just get going. We'll start at the beginning. You grew up, when we talked, in a bunch of different places, and family eventually found their way to Swansboro, North Carolina. So did you start playing softball when you moved to Swansboro, or did that journey begin way before, and when? And when did you pick up pitching? Was it immediately when you started playing?
No, I did not like pitching at first. But so I started playing softball. My mom was one of those moms that was like, you're going to try every sport until you find one you like, even though I was not athletically gifted at all. And so I started just playing on base in 29 Palms, California, because that's where I lived at the time. And I really liked playing softball after that. So she signed me up for a rec league once we moved to San Diego.
What age group, how old were you, think?
I think I was in like 4th grade. So very young. Okay. And I was, super tall for my age. So they were like, you should try pitching. I was like, no, I really wanted to be a catcher. That's what I wanted to do. And it's a good thing I did become a catcher because mine could never take it. But
yeah, that's rough, isn't it?
Yeah. But so yeah, I started then and, kind of kept going. When we moved to North Carolina, it's kind of when I started like really getting into things and I joined my first travel ball team.
Awesome. So you share that you actually hated pitching, we just said. What changed, and when did it start to feel like something you could truly be really, really good at?
So even when we got to North Carolina, I still didn't love it, but I was actually not very good. But my mom was like, "Oh, you should go try to see a pitching coach." And my travel ball coach at the time knew a pitching coach, and so he's like, "You can go try it. Lessons aren't that expensive, whatever." And I was like, "Okay, sure." And so I went to my first pitching lesson, and I think that's kind of where I fell in love with it because my coach, Miss Amy, who I still go see, she's awesome, excellent, best pitching coach ever.
Yeah.
And she just made it a lot of fun. I would go there for 2, maybe 3 hours sometimes and just pitch. And
so thanks to your mom and that kind of encouragement, you stuck with it and continued to pitch.
Yep.
And look us half now.
Yeah, I don't know. They're small.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So Swansboro is a pretty tight-knit community. What did it mean to represent that program once you moved here? What did it mean to represent that program and the town when you stepped inside the circle?
I don't think that I actually realized that until I went to regionals my freshman year. And my friend Payton actually was filming me on TV. And we were playing Georgia. And I got the opportunity to pitch, and I went in, and I think I did okay for a freshman. And later on after that, I was home for the summer. And my senior year head softball coach, Coach Townsend, he had said, I thought it was really cool that, I was watching you on TV. And, when they brought up, your little profile, it said Peyton Eckert from Swansboro.
Yeah, that's really cool, isn't it?
And I had never thought about it until that point, but I was like, that is really cool. seeing Swansboro up there, because most people don't know where Swansboro is.
I like it when they're showing the NFL games and the players come on. And you'll have some player, they'll say so-and-so Auburn University or something like that, but then one might say Alabama High School or something. They'll say their hometown or their high school. So, yeah. Yes, that's really cool. So your recruiting journey wasn't simple. Traveled across the Midwest, playing for multiple teams, and maybe a little doubters along the way. What kept you going? People told you, maybe you can't play Division I softball. What kept you going?
I really think like my parents and then the support group around me, just like my friends that I've made along the way. And also myself, that it's like, you've invested so much time and effort into this, like you deserve it.
Yeah.
And I know like that's kind of hard to tell yourself, because it's like, okay, like, you have self-doubts, but I was so thankful for all sacrifices that everyone had made for me. I had made myself, and I was just, like, you got this. Like, you need to keep motivated,
because it's a lot of sacrifice, not just for you, but for your family. Travel expenses. Your brother had to sacrifice them very well. So so there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into it. So eventually, UNCW entered the picture through going through various clinics and camps. What do you remember about the moment when, like, hey, this could be a real opportunity? And I would say to the advantage of not being that far from I'll say home, but from Swansboro. So talk a little bit about that.
I think to me, as far as like the distance part, like obviously I wanted to go to school in South Dakota for like the longest time, so like obviously way closer. But I think that part didn't really matter to me. I was like, okay, like hour and a half is like, that's like plenty, time.
That's far enough to be away from that. I'm with you.
Yeah.
With you.
But I think when I started going to like mini clinics with Coach E, who was the pitching coach at the time, and she just had like this awesome personality, and I think we like immediately clicked. Our personalities meshed very well, and I kind of like started seeing this, like, oh, like maybe I could go here. Like, it's very beautiful campus. Like, I obviously get along with the pitching coach very well, and they're not always going to get along with your but for the most part. And she was, telling me things and like adjusting pitching to where like I could see a difference, and I really liked that. And so I had talked to her after one of the clinics. I had gone to like months of clinics, and I would probably go like 1 week in the evening, and I was like, hey, like, do you see me as a possibility to like?
So you had to put it out there.
Yes. Because like, why not?
Absolutely.
And at that point, I was like starting to like panic, because it was getting later and later and later in my senior season. And so I was like, you know what, like, do you see me as like a possible recruit? And she was like, yeah, I do. Like, you should come to camp, or like an actual camp, like, and I was like, okay. And so I did. And then after that, I got a visit.
That's awesome. So you joined, and in the process, the scholarship money for your recruiting class was gone.
Yep.
At the beginning of you. So you joined as a preferred walk-on, and by the end of your freshman year, you had earned scholarship money. So congratulations on that. And your mom and dad are very thankful for it too. Yes. So talk about that process and what it taught you that year as a preferred walk-on, working hard, and then that carrot at the end. Talk about that.
I think for me, like, one of the questions that I asked myself going into like before even like accepting the offer was like, will I feel valued less on the team because I'm not receiving any money? And I feel like that's a question that a lot of athletes ask themselves, especially like in programs where there's not as much money. Is like, will you still feel valued, And is there a difference? And I asked parents a question, and they said that's entirely up to you, And I can't remember if I talked to another person on the team about it, and who was actually on the team, and they were like, you can't tell the difference. Actually, I think I brought it up to Coach E, and I was like, not that, like the money matters to me, but it doesn't,
Yeah.
And she was like, you won't feel like anybody else. Like, it's fine.
It'll just be a member of the team.
Yep.
That's great.
And, like you can tell people or you don't have to. Like, nobody has to know. And I was like, okay. And so I went, and I also accepted the offer. And I was so excited. I had to cry on the phone in school that day when I accepted the offer.
That's great.
But yeah, and then I went to school my freshman year, and I had a really good season for the most part. And then yeah, at the end, I didn't feel like I had anything. Like you want to prove yourself a freshman, but I was mostly going in there like a lot of patience and being like, no, it's okay. Like if you're not gonna go in there, I'm like, be the best and okay.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of expectations for myself because like I was just wanting to go in there and like have fun, have a good time. But also like really learn from my upperclassmen teammates. And we ended up making it to regionals that year. And I pitched against Georgia. And I pitched against some other people too.
So that's legit. I mean, SEC schools, yeah, that's legit. Let's take one step back. I should have asked you this before. Before you actually, your freshman year started, before you arrived, you mentioned Coach E a couple times. But there was a coach change. I'm assuming the head coach and Coach E as well. Did she?
No,
okay.
Stayed.
Okay. But there was a coaching change.
Yes, Coach E.
Okay. Sheila. Okay, your pitching coach left.
Yes, she left. She went to a school in Georgia, I believe. Because it had changed like 2 times. She went bigger, and
for sure.
She had always told me like, I also didn't stick around, but if I get an opportunity to go to a bigger school, like I'm going to take it because that's what I want to do. Yeah. And I was like, I get that.
So you were probably closer to her than the head coach, I'm assuming, because you had worked. So talk about that, staying and deciding to stay committed, even though Coach E was leaving.
Yeah, so
that had to be a tough decision.
It was.
Yeah.
Like it was, but it wasn't. Because I had asked myself, like, obviously, like, would you still go to the school? Like, if coach changed? Because in college, it changed all the time.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And even up until this point, like, my pitching coach, that was my coach previously, she got fired. So now I have a new pitching coach. Oh, I have their pitching coach for reasons. But yeah, she left. And, I can't hold it against her. Like, it was a great opportunity for her. And I was super upset about it, but it's not the end of the world, And she was the one who recruited me, so I didn't really know my head coach all that well.
Yeah.
But it all turned out fine. I was just like, you know what? I still love it here.
Just roll with it.
And who's to say that I won't like the next sophomore?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So you admitted about pitching at Georgia, or I guess Georgia. Your freshman year also included pitching at Duke in the NCAA regionals. Was that against Georgia or was it against Duke? I mean, because it's a 14 regional, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the regionals was against Georgia, and then Duke was just like a midweek.
Okay. So you pitched against Duke as well, who is a really good.
They were like number 4, number 6 at the time. I was so weird.
8 years old, but yeah. Okay, good for you there. What was the big difference between high school? I mean, dominating, you had a ton of strikeouts, and then that Division I competition.
I was really scared. And I was told that I did a good job, like, disguising it, but I was freaking out, especially against 3 games against, like, Duke and Georgia. I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is so scary.
I think I've actually been to I think I went to a regional one year. It may have been that year. You may have been pitching. Was it like, no, it wasn't. Yeah, I went to a regional, and they don't have dugout. They don't, or do they have dugouts underneath where you go in? So okay. So I guess my question is going to be more track. So like when you found out you were going to go in, did you like go to the bathroom and throw up, and then like?
No, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to pee myself. Like I was so nervous.
Understandable.
Yeah, I was shaking. Like my hand was like, God.
Yeah.
But like, don't let it show on the TV. Like they got cameras everywhere.
Oh yeah.
You feel scared, but
we said to have it like down going down into the locker room or something.
Right.
So anyway, but yeah, I understand that feeling. So sophomore season, a few limited innings, doing some physical challenges. Were you hurt? I mean, did you have some injuries?
No.
Okay.
It was all mental.
Okay, that happens.
Yeah.
I'm going through something right now. No, how did you work through those things and that stretch and keep belief in yourself?
I say it was all mental. I developed some bad habits in pitching, and like for any pitcher out there, like they know how easy it is. Like if you don't keep practicing the same thing, it's very easy to create that habit. And I don't feel like it got corrected, to where like it could have been fixed easily. I think it out for too long, and my like mental side really pulled because of it, because like I'm not where I want to be. I just came off of like a pretty decent freshman year, and now I'm entering my sophomore year, and like I want to be great, but my mechanics aren't showing it.
Yeah.
And I will say that like last year, there was so many times where I was like, I want to quit. Like I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. Like I'm trying, but I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. And like our two biggest pitchers after my freshman year, they went to Florida and Alabama. And so now I'm the only returning pitcher that year, because the other one graduated, and I was like, okay, like this is my time to step up and like be a big part of the pitching staff, and I just wasn't, and that it got to me.
It was tough.
And I had never dealt with something like that before. Like all the teams I've been on, but I was probably the best pitcher in school. But I was the only pitcher. I was team 170 innings in a season.
Yeah.
And I was down to like 30. And it was.
Well, when guys, you and I'm going to talk to Peyton Jitson here shortly, and I've talked to other athletes, when you guys are in high school, you dominate. And that's what you're used to. And you win games, lose games, but overall you're not used to failure, and you're always used to succeeding. So having to deal with that of hey,
I'll say like you do fail a lot even before you make it to college, but like failing in college just feels different.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. But you're always gonna fail.
You always
no
fail.
What you do.
Always gonna fail. Yeah.
But because you've made it that far.
Yeah.
And you know that you're good because you've made it that far, but you're just not showing it to the people around you.
Yeah. Let's talk about season coming up.
Yeah.
You said you feel like you have something to prove. What version of Peyton Eckert do you feel is coming into this year for the UNCW?
I feel like I'm channeling my senior year self. And like we talked about before, like it's so different going from college to high school, and like none of it's the same. But I'm channeling my confidence from senior year. So like I have since fixed my bad habits for the most part. And I think I'm in a lot better mental space as far as like confidence and stuff, because you cannot be a pitcher, like a successful pitcher, without confidence. You can't.
I would say playing a lot of athletics, you have to have skill. There's a very large percentage of being confident. Whether you walk in the circle, walk out on the court, or when you step out there, you have to have a little swag to you.
Yeah, there's some nice swag, but I think it's
you got it back.
Bag. I think it's not like a bag.
There might be a Peyton's got her swag bag, right? Okay.
Yeah, Peyton's got a swag bag.
Okay.
But I think I have a great support staff that's really been helping me. My coaches have been awesome this fall season, and I've been working really hard to get past that, because I want to be that pitcher that they rely on, like that they can. And I know that they know that too. So I just need to go out there
and do it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about something fun. Not that that's not fun, but off the field, you get pitching lessons and you work with athlete to athlete. So how is coaching younger players had changed the way you view the game?
Yes and no. I love working with younger athletes. I think it's so fun. And so rewarding, because we were all there once, I think it's changed for me because, you could go to a pitching lesson and, your coach saying the same thing to you over and over, and it's so frustrating. But then I find myself doing the same thing with my athletes.
So you
what are you doing?
They might be right.
Yeah.
They might have been right, yeah.
No. And occasionally I'll go to Mamie again and be like, hey, so that thing you taught me 2 years ago, I finally know now. She's like, girl, that's what I've been telling you. But I love being able to give back and, help be part of their journey. But I think it also helps me as a player. I'm the biggest hypocrite when I talk to them. I'm hey, be patient with yourself.
They do say sometimes that the best players make the worst coaches. I don't know if it's true or not, but they say that sometimes. Let's talk about academics. 3.84. That's pretty good. How do you balance being a high-level student and the demands year round demands, because even though season's not going on in the fall, you're training and you're doing something. How do you balance those?
A small season is like
Yeah, I'd have say 3 or 4. Yeah.
something like intense. I'll say like, well, so our freshman year we were required to do 6 hours of study hall a week. Now I went and I got all my homework done, and so then like sophomore year when you have successfully made good grades of your freshman year, you don't have to do study hall anymore. So that was like a whole other learning curve in itself. Is like, okay, well now I have my roommate I can hang out and I don't want to do schoolwork. And that being said, I only got all of my things done on time and whatever, but it's like learning time management, learning like, yes, you live with your best friends now. You always want to hang out with them, but you do need to get schoolwork.
But you gotta get something.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'll say there's been times where I had done schoolwork on the way to wherever we're going on the road or like in hotel rooms. And that's just, you got to do it.
That's just part of it. So those young pitchers that you coach, do training with, or any young pitcher in the area that might be looking up to you, what do you want them to take from your story, your journey?
Just that everybody's story is going to be unique, and just because someone says that you can't do something doesn't mean you can't, right?
That's a great lesson.
Everybody's gonna hate on you if you're good, right? And that happens, but you just got to keep pushing forward.
That's right. I got one more question for you, but before we go there, I shared those with you. Now I'm going to ask you some that I didn't share. These are called rapid fire. They're just first thing you think of when I read this question. Pitch you most trust in a moment.
Rise ball.
Strikeout or weak ground ball, which do you prefer? The strikeout?
The strikeout, because my coaches tell you I'm not good at fielding the ground balls. Strikeout all day.
Tougher grind. Travel softball summers or a college season.
I'm gonna say travel ball.
Yeah.
Because you go and play like 5 games.
I was gonna say you get the
I don't do that anymore. I don't know how I ever did that. That's crazy. Now college is also like a super hard grind, like when you're in season, but like I am playing a 6 game a day.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's
tough. Favorite pregame snack or meal?
I'm a huge Dunkin' fan.
Are you eating a donut before you?
No, I can't.
So you eating from Dunkin'?
I get a bagel with egg and bacon.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
What's playing on your AirPods and you're getting ready to ready for the game?
Some song by Metallica. Whichever.
But that's awesome. That's awesome. One coach who changed your perspective on the game. You had several that have been influential pitching wise, but one coach that has changed your perspective on the game.
There's been so many. But I want to say, I want to shout out to people, actually 3, that have...
You didn't listen to the question. Go ahead. That's fine. I said 1, but go ahead and give me 3. That's fine. Go ahead.
All deserved.
That's fine. Go ahead.
It's been a reason because, like I said, like last year I wasn't, the headspace. But I think this year, Coach Abby, Coach Kyler, and Coach Wade have really been there for me. And we were playing ECU as one of our fall games this year, and like I said, I wasn't, still okay, I want to be better, but still what happens if it's last year type thing. And they Coach Abby and Coach Kyler looked at me and they're like, listen, just go out there and throw. Whatever happens, just go. Have fun. And I was like, oh, okay. And that was the most free I've ever felt playing a college game.
Yeah.
And so I really thank them for that, because I think that was a huge turn point for me this season.
That's awesome. Dream stadium, and I mean dream stadium you'd love to pitch in. Is it in Oklahoma?
I don't know. I really like our field.
Do you?
I really like our field.
Yeah, but what if you could be in Oklahoma City? Yeah, obviously, right? Yeah. But you like your field.
Georgia's got a really nice field.
Georgia has a really nice field.
Really nice.
All right. One word teammates use to describe Peyton Eckert.
I don't know how to think of that one. positive.
Positive. That's great.
Even if it's maybe not towards myself all the time, it's definitely outward
That's all right.
towards other people. So
All script, rapid fire. You have one brother that I know.
Yep.
Just one?
just one.
All right.
That's pretty cool.
Funniest person in your family?
Like me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. As he sits over there and laughing at you.
Yeah.
Okay. Most competitive person in your family? Would that also be you?
Yeah, probably me.
So you're not laughing when you're competing?
I probably should be.
You sure? Yeah.
I didn't think about it.
Last rapid fire. Best part of giving pitch lessons to kids?
Just getting to connect with them. And like, I coach them. I love coaching. And they're always so cute.
That's
It's like, they're so smart.
That's awesome. All right. Closing question in rapid fire. When you hear the phrase homegrown, what does it mean to you knowing your journey, while it started in California, it kind of came full circle and kind of took off here in Swansboro? What does homegrown mean to you?
I think that, I don't know, that's a hard question. This is how I'm taking it. Like, I think as far as my home's kind of been all over the place. So like, just finding where you can be successful.
Yeah.
But
No, that's the right answer. So Peyton Eckert's journey reminds us that success isn't always linear. It's built through long weekends, uncomfortable conversations, earned opportunities, and the belief that setbacks don't define you. How you respond does. From Swansboro High School to the circle at UNCW, Payton continued to represent her roots with toughness, humility, and pride. That's what homegrown is all about. I'm Steve Goodson, and this is In Homegrown, real athletes, real stories, and big dreams. No matter how far you go, your roots will always lift you. Peyton, thank you for joining me today.
thank you.
Great. We'll see you later, guys. Support for Homegrown is provided by Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, proudly serving Eastern North Carolina since 1967.